Good afternoon. Welcome back to Alma, Missouri. Yeah, we're on our way back. We've had a busy few hours. Um, we went through. I saw that there were some contracts that we needed to get done, so I assisted the local farmers. David, Walter, Noah. Those people. Ben, Katie. Oh, I've got to place a call here. Let's let's stop over here. Let's go into our menu. Create our job. Actually, let's go back. I want to enter the vehicle just to make sure that we're set up for soybeans. Yep. Okay. Enter our semi again. Okay. Now let's do this. Let's create our job. Start job. All right, cool. They're off and running. And we're almost back to the house. And yeah, the our finances are a little askew right at the moment. We'll get this brought in. We're gonna take a look at some of the things we did. Did a little bit of reorganizing. I got all of our pallets and stuff back onto the pickup, and as you can see, our bale storage is a little on the light side to the left. Let's hop out and take a look. Yep, we did get rid of all of our silage bales. Our grass bales, I sold just a couple more than I wanted to. We've got 57 in total, and even our straw bales are pretty lacking in that department. I kept just enough to supply us for the next few months until we get fully going on our silage. Like I said, our finances are a little askewed because we're down to a $750,000 loan. The other two loans that we had, I made enough money from the contracts and from selling the bales to pay those ones off. And I took this one to talking with the bank, and they told them what I was doing, and yeah, we did a thing here. We got ourselves a brand new toy for the farm. I was talking about it in the last episode. In fact, let me come in here and we're gonna drop the ramp. And there it goes. Go ahead and get these unstrapped here. Hopefully I can get them all. There may be one there. We'll find out here in a second how many more are strapped across. Okay, so we got one under the big wheel. There we go. I don't see any more. All right, so yeah, like we were talking about, I've been needing another tractor. I mean, we're 3 years in. We haven't bought any additional tractors. The only thing that we did was equipment for said tractors. So yeah, we got a buddy seat that we can have friends or family jump in with us. It's only got 10 hours on this thing. Yeah, we got a good deal on this too. But yeah, like I said, we were buying equipment to support, and now we need equipment to support the support equipment, you know? And it's pretty late in the day. We've got 2 more fields to plant. And, they just got going on the beans over here. We're going to plant another field of beans in 3. And we're going to plant field 5 to sorghum because we need some feed. Make sure our chickens are topped up with feed. So, and for us to do what we needed to do, we need the second planter going. So, let's get this thing backed off. All right, we're moving, so all the straps are off. And let's turn around, get the nose in the air. There we go. Cool. And this is going to be interesting because I haven't used one of these dual track tractors in a long time. So let's get up here. Let's hook up to the momentum drill that we got. We'll make sure that all of our seeds and fertilizers are topped up. And I can't remember if I painted this one when we bought it, on the old save. But, we got the John Deere green going on it, so looks like we're at solid fertilizer. We got grass in here. Let's go ahead and change that to... And I keep forgetting that my steering wheel control does not allow me to change the seed type. So we're going to do... I was just... What do we do first? Let's go ahead and do the sorghum first. We got solid fertilizer. I think we're good to go. All right, let's see how this thing works. And, like I said, let's just go up in here to our equipment just to show the reason why. This is a 250 horsepower implement. I know the case can pull it, but when it gets to hills, it won't do it. It won't do it at all. We got the John Deere 2022 version. That's 360, so our big John Deere will work for that one just fine. But like I said, if we got plowing going on, our big tractor's tied up. So we needed something else. We really did. Because our Case Puma just does... it works great. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong one bit. It works great. I love that little tractor. But when we got the big plow or even the 12-footer or the 12-meter or the 26-meter, either one of those require the John Deere, the 8R or 7R, 8R, one of the two, whatever we got. But the case won't pull it. And if we're doing planting at the same time, we're limited down to we only have one tractor really that can do any of the field work. So, yeah. And like I said, when I saw this one show up in the market, I wanted to try it out. So, yep, we're going to get over here. We're going to get the sorghum planted. We're going to see how this works. And we'll turn some music on. down to the last pass here. Let's go into the map real quick, and I want to see what the John Deere's working on. Okay, the John Deere's on the last pass there before they start the headlands. Okay, that's fine. We did a little bit different on our field. We started with the headlands first, and then the ups and downs, back and forth. Here and theirs, however you want to call it. So, our field's done. And we got this one up here that we got to get to soybeans. So, we'll just go ahead and get to that one. But before we do that, we're going to go back to the case real quick. And we're going to get that one, the case set up for rolling. And I'll need to fold this up because we got a bridge there and I know we won't fit over the bridge. So while this is doing that thing, we're going to go over to the case, wherever that is. I think we're going to be close enough here. There we go. We're going to grab the roller. And we're going to get them going on the sorghum field for rolling. And then we'll come back and we'll do a load of soybeans. just like that, we are done with the soybean field. We did a little bit of a merry-go-round with the other tractors. And I think there was a spot up here. But it's right along the edge, so I'm not going to worry about it. We moved the case from one field to another, the John Deere back home. I left the John Deere running as it was getting fuel. Probably should not have done that, but we did it anyway. And yeah, we just have to roll the final field. I'm not sure how much longer that case has. I'm just going to get this momentum over here back in the shed where we've been keeping it. Since we're done with the planting, just we'll get these put away. Now bring the John Deere over and we'll get that disconnected as well. This Caterpillar works out pretty darn good. We'll get it parked right here. All right. Alright, let's get this over. Looks like they're doing the headlands, from what I can tell on that field. Alright, let's get this back over here. We may buy an additional shed to put just the tractors in. I'm not sure yet. Alright. A little close there. Let's check on the worker. And yep, doing the headlands. And we're going to just let them finish this. We'll get them switched over to the other field. And we'll come back in the month of May. We'll have the rolling done. So let's go to the house here. Feed Romeo before we make our jump. We'll catch you in May. All right, we are now in the month of May. And let's check on our animals. It's been a little bit. Looks like our eggs are almost full here. Let's get them out. Yep, these guys are doing decent right now. I just need to make sure to clear them out on a regular basis. I wish we had a little bit more storage, you know, versus just we get 6 pallets and that's it. Yep, well, they got plenty of food for now. Let's check on the goats. I mean, these are pretty fresh, so we are slowly working on trying to get their production up. If we take a look at the numbers here, yeah, we got 100 of 179. However, they haven't birthed anything yet. So, you know, we're slowly working on trying to get those numbers up. It's going to take a few months before we get to a full-fledged milk production. The Swiss and the Holsteins here, they're doing pretty good. We got 9,000 liters of milk already, so we do need to get that cleared out. And the sheep, we ended up having to clear that out yesterday. Or I should say last month. Oh, look at the cute little things. And it's going to take a little bit of time for their production to get up as well. Although they are all at the proper shearing age. So yeah, we only got the 2 breeds of goats here. The Bentimes and the Steinschaft. But either way, they've got good food. We need to, you know, dump a little bit of TMR, and that's then in the trailer over there. Let's find our case. Oh, yeah, I moved the tractors around a little bit. I noticed as soon as I got done rolling, which was at dark, by the time I got all the rolling done, I forgot I had fields 1 and 4 to get done as well, so that took some time out of the day. But there was some contracts that popped up, specifically for plowing. And I'm still trying to get these dang... Oh, we got to wait, you know, 3 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours plus to get those cleared out of there. We got 2 weeding contracts. Yeah, we're not going to worry about the weeding contracts today or any of that stuff. We'll probably speed up time a little bit, you know, till, you know, maybe 1 o'clock. But I do need to go to the map, and actually we're going to take the pickup for a little drive. There's a couple of fields I want to check on. Oh, we also need to, you know, oh this, oh that, yeah. I need to do some fertilizing of the 2 grass fields, so we do need to rent a fertilizer. And how are they on straw? They got plenty of straw. We can bring a bale or 2 over. It's not going to be a big deal. Okay, so they're full. So we'll just leave that run for now. Nah. They're easy enough to top off. Okay. Yeah, we do need to fertilize our 2 fields. You know, field 2 and 7. Looks like we got a little... Oh, that was previous hail damage. Okay, so it should be... I think it's hail damage. Or it could be I need to buy soil maps again. No, they're all... I mean, I bought them just before we started the season, so... yeah, we should be good. Anyway. So we need to fertilize 2 fields. And we got the where's that herbicide? I bought fertilizer. I bought liquid fertilizer. Okay. Okay, that is liquid fertilizer. Okay. I was thinking those ones were herbicide. Oh, that's right. I moved the herbicide off the trailer. So I got them stacked up there. I also got our silage additive put there. But yeah. So we got to get those 2 fields fertilized. Let's go take a drive. You know, I'm kind of scatterbrained right at the moment. That's, everybody gets that. Let's go ahead and disconnect the trailer. We'll give her a startup. And we got some fields that we need to go check out. I'm kind of surprised to see what's in store for us. I hear some good things about this alfalfa, and that's what we're gonna go look at. So let's get over there. Our oat field to our right is actually doing pretty good. And I probably do need to go... No, I don't, because I had to plow all the fields, so... Because that was due for plowing. Ooh, look at that. So yeah, we don't have to worry about weeds at all in our fields right now, so... Because like I said, we plowed everything at the start of the season. So we don't need to worry about plowing. And it's surprising that this doesn't tell us that it needs plowed. But what we generally have to plow is after corn. So anyway, this is what I wanted to go look at right here. You see that height difference, right? I mean, there's the grass that we normally mow. It's always about knee high. Tickle the armpits, can we say? And okay, so this is actually ready to harvest. I mean, we planted in March, April, May. So there's 2 things that we can do. Yeah, we're definitely gonna harvest it this time right now. And then the next harvest, we're gonna take a look at it if we harvest when the alfalfa gets their purple buds, which should be in 4 months. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and give this a harvest. Harvesting 2 months in a row for grass stuff. I mean, I'm not used to it, but like I said, we're doing a test right now. And like I said, I really want to see, like it says, growth is ready to harvest. I was expecting it to say stage 3 of 4. So let's go back to the truck. Let's take a look at the other 3 fields. We'll just drive by them real quick. I just want to see what they all look like, because I was on my Palinier map last week doing a live stream, and that map, the alfalfa is the same height as grass, so there's no real difference in grass or alfalfa from what I can see. So this is actually kind of exciting to be able to see this. So we're gonna get a mower out. We're gonna get everything hooked up. We could use the case. Yeah, we'll probably just use the case anyway. And we're going to do another test again. In the last episode, we did a little guessing game of how much we got off of those 2 fields for bales. And like I said, we're going to do some quick math here. So we got, and I'm just going to calculate it right now, right here live. And we got 1.22 plus 1.77. There we go. Plus 4.37, plus, and then one more field here, and that's 6.48. 6.48 equals 13.84. All right, wrote that down, and now we will check out this one here. Oh, we must have got some. Oh, that was the hail damage from like March or something like that. Okay, so this field is 5.68. 68 plus, and then we got this one here of 8.18. Equals 13.86. I mean, we couldn't get those fields any closer in acreage if we tried. So we got, I want to say it was 58 bales after emptying out the baler. So 58 bales on the almost 14 acres. How many are we going to get on this field, or these 4 fields? And we're going to go ahead and get them set up to, we're going to ted them. We're going to, turn it into hay. Hay. But the next time we harvest this, we're actually going to make silage bales, because I do like to have that stockpile of silage just in case. And, it's also a little bit of money in our pocket too, selling silage. We're going to try to avoid going through and making TMR and selling the TMR, because that price is a little bit higher than I like it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great. I love the price. If I was playing this game and not streaming it, I would be selling TMR all day long, every day of the week, every month of the year, all that good stuff. Don't get me wrong, I would be selling that stuff just to do the thing to make the most money. But I like the way the stream's going before the price of TMR skyrocketed, and I want to maintain true to that as best I can. So we're just going to get this hooked up. We're going to get that turned off. So yeah, we're going to not sell. We're not going to sell the TMR. We're going to just make our silage. We're going to make our hay. We're going to make our straw. And if we need some extra money, we're going to sell bells. We won't get near the price out of that as you would with mixing TMR, even if it was being sold at $120 per 1,000. But you know what? It's easy enough for us to make bells. So yeah, we're going to go ahead. We're going to grab the case. I'm actually going to do one thing here. We're going to go into the market, because like I said, we got to do some fertilizing. Ooh. Do I want to buy this? We can get up to 40 meters. No, we're not. Because while we got the weeds, okay, yeah, we are. Okay, we don't need the trailer hitch. 5200 is perfect for this. Narrow tires. We only have the grass fields to do, and the grass doesn't die out. 151,000. Ooh, can't afford that right now. I mean, I'd love to buy this guy. You know, we get the 410 option. We can do fenders. It doesn't matter. But again, I don't have the 408,000. Yeah, I can sell my TMR, but we just bought a large tractor. So, let's go to the sprayers. I also need to we're going to do something here. Because as we're planting, this is one of those things that I don't know how many times I had to go and fill up the seeder. I was using the John Deere, which I just want to refresh my memory on this, and that's up here. We were using this one right here, which has liquid tanks on it. It's a standard front liquid fertilizer tank. So yeah, we had to fill up with a lot. We had to fill it up more times than we should have. So we're just going to go ahead. This guy would be nice. But its liquid fertilizer tank is quite small. It's quite small. So we would have to do the thing again, and it's 27 meters at 8 miles an hour. We may buy that one. This one doesn't have any options. I wish they would break down seed and fertilizer tank numbers. But regardless, oh, this is off the Plains of Prairie. I haven't used this one yet. Ooh, it's not direct drill. That one's direct drill. That one's direct drill. That one's direct drill. So this one, we would have to cultivate the ground before, and if we're doing, if we plow the ground, then it'd be great. I just want to take a look at it because I have not looked at the Plains and Prairie pack stuff too much. There's no options for any of it. It's Vaderstad, which is fine. 11,000 liter total capacity. Like I said, I wish they would break that down. But that's neither here nor there. But what I am going to do, because I was talking about it the other, one of the last streams, to buy a front tank. And we got an 1,100 liter, a 1,500 liter. So if we get this, we could definitely run a hose underneath. We hook it up to the front 3-point, 1,500 liters on the front, and we're doing drawbar stuff, so it's not like we have extra weight on the rear 3-point. But if we get this, and we can buy this at any old time, it's $5,000. We'll probably just buy it now. Put it on the front. We're running liquid fertilizer. Boom. Done. End of story. So we'll buy that. Okay. So now we actually get to rent an actual sprayer. That one's 36 meter we can get. It runs at 15, 30, or 54 meter at 15. The Fendt goes 40 meter at 15. And it's just, anything would be nice. 103,000 for that one. And we're not going to be using that much fertilizer. I don't like the back tanks. Only because it's a 24 meter width for that guy. 18 to 28. And they're 9 mile an hour. That one's at 7. That one's at 7. I don't want to go with the Lizard Colossus stuff because... And that's why I usually gear towards getting these guys. So, but regardless, we're going to have AI doing it anyway. It's going to be a little bit of money out of our pocket for them to do that. I know the Hardy here has those mods on it that the Weed Seeker and the Pulse with. We don't need the weeds because we're not doing any weed stuff. So that's gonna lower our price down. We can get a 33 meter, even though they're gonna be 7 miles an hour. They should be able to get around those two fields pretty easily. Let's go ahead and lease this guy. Okay. And now we got those. We'll grab this guy sometime and we'll go to town later with it. Do I want to give him the John Deere? Do I want to use the John Deere? I forgot what horsepower rating that one was. There really isn't. So the Case Puma will pull it just fine. The John Deere will pull it just fine. The Challenger will pull it just fine. Let's go ahead and we'll take this over to the shop. We'll take the duals off of it. Yeah, we'll leave them on. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. Alright, we will go and get our fertilizer. And we will get the AI. Oops, scratched my truck. Yeah, we'll let AI do all the thing by themselves. We're not going to worry about it. They can take care of the grass. We'll just get them set up, and then we'll go grab the case, which should still be hooked up. Yep. Okay. All right. AI, do your thing. We got Jamie on the tractor. Jamie does a good job. Yep, blocked by me. All right, let's grab the Puma. And let's get some mowing done. I was wondering what we were going to do this month, too. So, this kind of makes me happy. And we'll do some speed up for this. So, no time like the present to get it done. Alright, this is the last field. And I don't know if you all have noticed, but that outer edge, and I am using the GPS lines on this, so we see a different discoloration, and when we're done with this field we'll take a look at it. I've heard conflicting stories on that. Yes, it looks like we are cutting down grass. The actual, the meadow grass. The stories I've heard is, one, that if you cut down this grass and mix it in with alfalfa, then the system doesn't know what is alfalfa and what is grass, so it will just kind of delete it as it goes along, because it'll take a little bit of grass in, and then when it hits alfalfa it'll delete what was there for grass, and vice versa. It'll just keep doing that all throughout that entire strip. And then other reports I've heard says it doesn't matter, it will just accumulate. So whatever you have the most of at the time that you make the bale, say your bale's getting to 85% full, and if you got 25% grass and 60% alfalfa, then it's going to count the bale as alfalfa. Whatever percentage is more is what the bale will be counted as. Well, we will definitely find out. And I thought these windrows would be much bigger as well. But, I mean, we do have a lot laying down on the ground between them, so only time will tell on how much we actually get. But then on the next harvest, I want to make it just like grass. We can harvest at stage 3 and then again at stage 4, and we get like a half a yield reduction on stage 3 growth versus a full yield production on stage 4. So I want to test this out because I have seen this alfalfa bloom, because that's what it'll do. It blooms, and I want to see if the production actually increases with that bloom. So we'll find out on the next time we harvest this. We'll actually wait until that purple stage growth, because we planted in March, April, May. So in theory, we should have actually harvested in June. So since we harvested in May, June, July, it'll be August when we harvest with the bloom, which will be 1 month again after our grass harvest, so it won't be that big of a time difference. And that way it helps, we're not doing 26 acres of grass all in one shot, where we have to mow it and then tedder it and then bale it. So we'll get this back to the farm, we'll get the tedder out, and we'll see how well this does for what it looks like, especially while we're tedding it. And I'm going to sit there and do my normal thing. I'm going to collect everything that I cut down. Hopefully the outer windrow doesn't change in color as much as I'm thinking it will. So, but we'll find out. We'll get the tedder hooked up, and we'll just get back to it. Alright, we're going to do a little sightseeing here. We're going to take a look at this real quick, because it's kind of concerning. It's kind of concerning. We got patches of grass, and then we got patches, alfalfa, and that's just from the outer edge. Granted, we have more alfalfa than we got grass, but I'm going to do a test here real quick. We're going to go grab the Challenger. We're going to grab our baler, because what we do next will be determined by what happens here, especially on the next fields. Because we can sit there and get it all tedded and make one gigantic windrow or whatever, but if we lose half of our bales because it sits there in flip-flops, then it's kind of a moot point for windrowing everything at the same time to see what the heck happens. So we'll windrow this, and if everything works out good, then we'll do the same thing on the next fields. But if it doesn't, then we gotta change up our windrowing process, our tedding process. And yeah, let's find out together. Let's go ahead and unfold the baler. Well, that windshield got dirty real quick. Let's go ahead and turn the baler on. And I am going to... We're keeping the bale size the exact same. We're going to reset the bale counter. And then we're going to go ahead and drop it down. And I want to see how many bales we get all together. Let's watch that indicator on how full we get. See, it's going up to hay, dry alfalfa. We're at 17. So, alright, so whatever we're collecting the most of is what it's going to be. And that's actually pretty big bales, too. Okay, so we don't have to incorporate what's called a dirt skirt. As I actually learned about it, because I didn't know anything about, other people have been playing the game for a long time. They can... I don't know if Alfalfa's been in like FS22 or 19 or any of those, but to alleviate the problem of the intermixing of hay and alfalfa, or grass and alfalfa, I should say, and they would come along over here along the edge with their painting tool, and they would pick a dirt, and we could do cut grass. I mean, we could do anything that would knock out the grass itself. But normally they would do like, a mud. And then they would set a size and plop, drop down a section of mud. And we kind of, I don't think we took out the alfalfa, but that's what they would do to fix the problem of cutting down grass and alfalfa and mixing them together, and then having the issue like I was trying to describe. I hope I described it pretty well, but because it looks like the computer has found out that if we're just baling the majority of alfalfa, then it's keeping it alfalfa. So alright, so we'll just go ahead and we'll get this finished up, and we'll get the tedding done as well. Our test is complete, and we'll come back and yeah, make sure to put your guess in for how many bales we're going to get on these 4 fields, which was the exact same size as the 2 regular grass fields. And like I said, we got 58 bales on the 2 regular grass. So put your guesses in to see how many we get on this 3rd stage growth of alfalfa. We'll see you back in the game. Alright, so we've continued on with the baling. This is the last field, and I think I might do that dirt skirt just because. If you see how rough these windrows are, they don't seem to like having a mix of items in the windrow. So it doesn't put them together concisely, succinctly, perfectly, like that right there. Yeah, that's a bit spotty, but it's all one nice, neat windrow. And I have issues like this coming up on every so often. So, see, and I just drove over a spot, and I know I was directly over top of it. And, okay, there we go. Yeah, every field so far has done that. And The dirt skirt would be nice just because it would alleviate this issue that we're having with all these bad, pot marks of grass and alfalfa mixed together. So now I gotta sit there and do some weird shenanigan stuff to get all these picked up. So yeah, I think the dirt skirt's still gonna come into play, just not because of the mixing of grass. It's the when we ted it or windrow, and I still need to see about windrowing. If we just drop everything together from the mower in a windrow, how it will do. So, but that's the field of alfalfa. We baled all 4. So let's go ahead and turn it off. Or pick up the pickup and turn it off. Unload the baler. And we still got some more alfalfa in there. So place your bets. Going once. Going twice. We got 47. So even though the alfalfa looked like it was, so we don't have all the noise. Even though the alfalfa looked like it was taller, it wasn't near as full as it could have been. So yeah, we're definitely gonna, and we're looking at this bale. It's dry alfalfa, 8,000 liters, 2667. Yeah, just because it was the last one. So yeah, we got 47 bales off of that. I mean, we're still pretty happy with it, but if that is any indication of if this is a half a yield just because it's growth stage 3 and we need to wait until the alfalfa blooms, goes into flower, then we may be looking at these 4 fields of 13.82 acres or 86 acres or whatever it was. Yeah, we may be looking at close to 100 bales. So we did go through. We got our 4 fields harvested. We got our 2 fields fertilized, and that is basically all we had to do. Field 6 and 3 soybeans, they don't need any fertilization. The oats look like everything's great on them, so we don't have to worry about those. Yeah, pH is perfect, nitrogen is perfect. I mean, we can look over the entire field, but yeah. Once we get these fields harvested the first time, our environmental score will go up. So yeah, our new Challenger tractor works out pretty darn good, even pulling this baler. I may see if we can get a 3-point attachment to extend the pin hitch back further so we can turn sharper. We'll see if we can find one in the shop somewhere. Yeah, we'll get this home. We'll get it. We may even give it a bath. We've already, bought it with 10 hours and it's got 13 on it. That's kind of dirty. But anyway, I want to thank you all for joining me on this episode of Alma, Missouri. As always, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you like the content. And if you do, make sure to hit that bell notification so that you don't miss any of our videos that we upload, our live streams that we do. And until the next time, we'll catch you later. Bye, everybody.